we're back. Last time was very stressful. However, in the end, we reached the point that we've been gunning towards since the second attempt, which was trying to get this guy, Plaid the Oricorio. Now, I did a post earlier on the Discord where I highlighted some interesting stuff, because Plaid is honestly a really mixed bag as far as stats go. Because on the one hand, okay, let me walk through some of the concerns that I had with banking on Oricorio. The main one was just that I wouldn't be able to get enough power from its moves without holding a Sharp Beak item, because all of Oricorio's special flying type moves are 95% accurate. If we take a look here at Air Cutter, 95% accuracy. Farther down the line, it learns Air Slash, 95% accuracy. I do think it picks up Hurricane later on, but that's just worse. However, surprisingly enough, Oricorio actually managed to luck into the hidden power type Flying, which means that it has easy access to a 60 base power flying type stab move. So that is just a massive bit of luck, and honestly more than I dared to hope for with getting Oricorio. So if we take a quick moment here, pull it out, we'll see this confirmed by this lady. So, the moves type would be Flying. So that instantly gives us a reliable special flying type stab move. However, if we take a look at Plaid's stats, Plaid not only has a minus special attack nature, as shown by the blue there on special attack, but checking behind the scenes, Plaid also has a special attack IV of 8, which is really bad. And the wild bit is that... Wait, is it a special attack IV of 8, or am I misremembering? Oh no, it's a special attack IV of 28. It's just the minus special attack nature that's screwing that up. So the crazy thing is, because of how much lower its special attack IV is, its attack stat is almost as good because its attack IV is 31. What this means is that Plaid's most reliable damaging move right now, and its strongest damaging move by a good margin, is Acrobatics. So, I had to take all of that into account, and I had to run some calcs, and let's see, those, you probably can't read them, and pardon my handwriting, I wasn't being too careful, but basically, I ran down the calculations, trying my best to factor in all of the possible worst-case scenarios. Because there are a few different things... Oh, hold up. I just realized that I never adjusted my date and time back after last time. And we'll probably fiddle with this again later on in the stream, but we're going to be reloading the save here in just a minute. Taking into account all of the worst case scenarios that I could think of, potential critical hits from Lurantis, it having a max offensive nature, which I actually think is the case, it having a max defensive nature, potentially having maxed out speed. I've gone through all of those scenarios with calcs and troubleshot with this specific Oricorio so that I could crunch the exact EV investments that Oricorio would need to guarantee the best outcome here. And then, on top of that, I went through and checked the Pokemon on Route 1 and their EV yield and XP yield to make sure that it was possible to train up Oricorio to that point without over-leveling. Because precisely training this would take a very long, very slow and tedious grind that I really don't feel like dealing with. Oh, I remember which of its IVs is 8, it's speed. And that's actually a big issue, because assuming the Lurantis doesn't have a pretty low speed IV or a minus speed nature, we can't outspeed it. Which meant that I had to calc for taking 2 hits rather than 1 hit, and I had to make sure that I was doing more damage than Synthesis on subsequent turns would restore, even though by like the 3rd turn or so, it should be, if it's using Synthesis, it should be doing so under the sun, thanks to its ally cast form. So, with all of that taken into account, I figured out the ideal EVs and like the bare minimum that would make it possible, assuming worst case scenario. And then I fiddled with them to find what works best. So here's what we've got. The minimum number of attack investment would be 152 EVs. That said, we can afford the full 252 to maximize our damage and maximize our small chance of actually getting a one-hit KO. As far as HP IVs, to make sure that we have the bulk to take a critical hit Solar Blade and a follow-up non-critical hit Solar Blade, we would need a minimum of 68 HP effort values. And in order to get our speed to a benchmark where if the Lurantis has a minus speed nature, or at least down to like an 18 speed IV, we will be able to outspeed it with a neutral speed nature, we need 160 speed EVs. That said, that leaves 30 EVs in the balance, and my current plan is just to shift all of those into HP. Now the positive. As soon as we finish this island, we can go ahead and get to the next island, and on Route 10 we get access to all of the berries that let us reshuffle our stats and our EV investments. And at that point, we can fix the stat allocation, because even though its special attack stat is nerfed by its nature, it's still higher than its attack stat, and several of Oricorio's best moves are on the special side. Most of Oricorio's best moves are on the special side, including its signature move, Revelation Dance. So, we're going to go that route. Now, just real quick, I did calc out how much experience it's going to take, how many EXP points it's going to take to get, how many EXP points it's going to take to get to this point, but I didn't write it down. For reference, if we want to train in attack, speed, HP... Yeah, attack, speed, and HP, without getting too much experience, then we want to be doing so against level 2 Pokemon back on Route 1. Specifically, Pick-a-Peck and Spinarak give attack EVs, and if we're doing it at night, Rattata... Well, Spinarak is also at night. Rattata gives speed EVs, and Caterpie gives HP. So, if we take that into account, every battle with a level 2 Pick-a-Peck is 5, same for a level 2 Spinarak and a level 2 Rattata, and every battle with a level 2 Caterpie is 4. With that, we can do some pretty basic math. We want 252 attack EVs at 5 XP apiece, 98 HP EVs at 4 XP apiece, and 160 speed at 5 apiece. Now, this is actually a little bit inaccurate because as Oricorio leveled up, it would actually gain less XP from each of these fights, but this, at worst, will project more experience than we would actually need to get to this point. So, we're still safe. And with that, that's 2,452 EVs. That is how I've spent my day. How are y'all doing? No, that... Checking all of the stuff and making sure that I took care of all of the possibilities, was mainly just... was about an hour, I want to say. Anyway, I'm going to take a minute here in PK Hex. We will be reloading back where we were before. I'm just going to take a minute here in PK Hex. And make those adjustments as we need them. So, HP is going to be 98. Attack is going to be 252. And speed is going to be 160. And now we just go ahead and restart the game, and we'll need to drop a couple of candies into Oricorio just to have it up to level, but now if we take a look at Oricorio, its stats will be getting higher. Huh. Maybe it has to be on a level up. So, if we fire up our rare candies... I don't think there's much reason for a baton pass, but you know what, we'll go ahead and go for it. Oh, and we can drop Growl for Feather Dance, which is just a significantly better move in the vast majority of situations. Okay, and now I'm going to drop a save real quick, just to make sure that all worked out right. It did not. Somehow I didn't manage to save it correctly. So, we're gonna try that one more time. Well, we're going to try it with the EVs one more time. We already did the leveling. It doesn't really matter what... Oh, you know what? I forgot to hit the button to set it. So I put in the values and then never actually stored them onto the Oricorio in my file. Okay, 98, 252, 160. And now we set that. Then we export the save. And now we fire this up one more time. Now if we take a moment and look at Oricorio, let's double check. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was just fiddling around to make sure that the stats were allocating correctly. In all honesty, we probably could have taken a moment there and adjusted the stats on a few other of our Pokemon, but that's not really the main concern right now. One thing that we can take care of immediately is slapping a couple of better moves onto Oricorio. Onto Plaid. So we'll replace Peck with Acrobatics. And we'll replace Air Cutter with Hidden Power. Surprisingly, we've got a fair few decent hidden power types on our special attackers. So this doesn't have a high crit rate, but it has the same power and 100% accuracy. Which, in my books, makes it far better. Now, real quick, we are going to take a second and duck back. We're going to duck back onto Route 6, clear out a couple of the trainers that are farther down, and reconnect with Howoli City, because if we take a look to the south real quick, down here on the right, we can see that Howoli City is actually right next to Route 6. Yeah. Okay, this is actually a useful way of managing the map. And after we finish up the grass trial, we'll be heading south down here for the rock-type Kahuna battle. Somewhere around there. I'm not totally certain where. But, anyway. Oh, there is one other thing that I want to take care of. We have gone back to Mele Mele Meadow a couple of times and picked up a couple of doses of yellow nectar. And because electric flying is just a much better defensive type, and defensive is really the only point that matters here, since we can't get Plaid a secondary stab move until it picks up Revelation Dance at level 40. But if we go ahead and give it some yellow nectar, then Plaid will switch into Pom-Pom form. And now Plaid is a flying electric type. Oh. Which, personally, I would have to say is pretty cool. We get access to 4 different types of that we can have Oricorio be. That'll mainly be... So first of all, we are a bit limited at the start because we only have access to whatever type we have the nectar for. And I don't know where we get the nectar for its... I think this is its Pau style. Yeah, Pau style is the one on... is the version that we caught it in. I think it's somewhere here. Or, wait, it might actually be in Royal Avenue. But, real quick, we are going to go ahead and keep Drawstring up front because it's a good matchup into this lady. We're just gonna clear out a few of these Pokemon that I don't want to have to be stuck dealing with. I didn't even pay attention to what it did there. It can't confuse me. I'm guessing it used Helping Hand. By how short the animation was, since Helping Hand would automatically fail. And you know what? She is the most dangerous opponent on this route. So we'll go ahead and head on south here, where we can reconnect with Howley City. Oh, it's so nice to be through that big, stressful, tangled section we were trying to clear last time. Huh. Okay then, I don't really know what that place is, I was just going into it. I think I looked through this area before. Actually, come to think of it, I have notes on what the useful items are here in Hehe City, and they were all just shop TMs, so there's no point in running around here. Ah, so that's Diglett Tunnel. Which, if we didn't already have a Diglett, I would probably duck into real quick to try and catch one. But, as it is, that doesn't really matter. So, while we have the fishing now, and we could back up for an encounter in Mele Mele Sea, I don't know that it's strictly needed yet. Simply because we can guarantee a wishy-washy encounter as soon as we get to Route 7. And if we wait on our Melee C encounter until we reach Route 9, we can go ahead and guarantee we can get Love Disc there, and that'll guarantee Corsola back in Melee C. And the reason I want to do it in that order, even though it would work technically as well in the previous order, is that Corsola is a lot more rare on Route 9. It's 70% chance to encounter Love Disc versus 5% chance to encounter Corsola. So I'd really rather just get the common Love Disc there and then roll with the 20% chance of encountering Corsola on Melee just to speed things up. Because, well, I'm lazy. That's pretty much it. But we can head on over to Royal Avenue once we pick out a Pokemon for the Royal Rumble. Now, because we went with the Fire-type starter, Hao will be playing with his Dartrix, which is a grass flying type, and holding a Normalium Z. Of course, Gladion's type Null is pretty frightening. And Rockruff likes to spam Protect. So let's take a look at the options we have for this upcoming matchup, because I'd like to finish it off pretty quick. Sadly, last time we were able to get a quick and dirty KO right off the bat just by going for our water type Z move into Hao's Torracat, but obviously he doesn't have a Torracat now. So that cuts down our Z move options. The only powerful Z moves that we have are Water, which is only good into the Protect spamming Rockruff. Normal, which isn't super effective into anything, but we could get a strong hit off thanks to Romper. Or Fighting, which from Boxer could take out type Null, but we would be left at risk to Hao's flying type stab, which makes that a little bit on the scary side. All of those considered, I think the right choice is actually Romper. Now this is a bit scary because if we don't get the one-shot, then we're stuck with Hustle, making it hard for us to hit our moves. But on the other hand, if we don't take care of... Oh, this is hard to juggle. So real quick, Dartrix has what defensive stats? 78 HP, 70 defense, or 75 defense, 70 special defense. Huh. So that's at least a bit lower than type Null, which I think has base 80. It has base 95 across the board. Breakneck Blitz from Romper is just about the most powerful move we have on the team. Of course, we do have a fresh flying type that could be the answer here. Because with Plaid, we get access to full-powered acrobatics into Dartrix, which should do a whole lot of damage. And we should be pretty easily able to outspeed. We've got the durability to take a hit. Like, we're not Carbink, but we can get out there, and we should be able to one-shot Dartrix. It's just a matter of who I'm willing to put at risk, because the thing is, Romper's got limited use left. We really can't afford to bring it into much, and I'd much rather go in there with a Pokemon that I was either A, certain could get the one-shot on Dartrix, or B, one that I was willing to lose. Oh, I remember. It's like right here, isn't it? I think we get the pink nectar from those flowers somewhere. Do I need to talk to you? No. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna take just a second and check my notes on this area. Royal Avenue. Okay, we can get some berries from inside the store based on their random handouts. And apparently that NPC Hypno does have something. Or apparently it's the Hypno in the Thrifty Mega Mart. I wonder if it's a daytime only event or something, because this Hypno isn't in the Thrifty Mega Mart. Oh wait, here's a Hypno in the Thrifty Mega Mart. I didn't read what his... Okay, so this is a cosplayer trying to scam people into giving him money, so that's fun. Yeah, I think our best bet here is just to send in Romper and Breakneck Blitz the crap out of Dartrix. And there is a small chance that Romper goes down. I don't think it will, but... One advantage is that I'm pretty sure Romper is the fastest thing here. Crank up the Z power, Breakneck Blitz into Dartrix. Because all we have to do is get, as soon as one Pokemon gets knocked out, the Battle Royal finishes. I don't think that's the way that it is in... Oh, crap. Okay, and now we'll go for our most accurate option, Bite against Dartrix. If we hit this, we should be able to finish this off. Okay. Really? I thought it ended immediately, but I guess it doesn't end till the turn finishes up. I'm sorry, Romper, but you got to go out with a blast. So I hope that was worth it. You get to join Beige. And I'm going to rename this because I haven't done so yet. It was a calculated risk, and I don't like it, but Romper was either going to die a hero or spend a long retirement in the box. I really thought it was going to be the latter, but Romper was a fighter, and I think she went out the way she would have wanted to go. Respect for you, our little rat friend, who came far with us. We'll do our best to take it the rest of the way. Also, welcome to the stream, Lastborn. I'm sorry that you had to join at that moment. Well, despite that unfortunate happening, we are going to press on towards Kiawe's trial. And specifically, we're going to press towards our wishy-washy encounter up here on Route 7. See, if we head up here, we get access to the water. Now, as far as encountering wishy-washy, I believe we need... Oh, real quick, I'm going to check something. Yeah, the pink nectar is in the pink flowers, but I guess it just hasn't spawned yet today. So we're here on Route 7. We need to repel while we're on the water's surface, get to a fishing spot, and then each time we fish, we've got a 20% chance to encounter wishy-washy. All of the Pokemon in this area are level 19 or lower. So as long as we're leading with something level 20, we're perfectly safe. The positive is that we don't need bubbling water for this one. That's right, we can basically just farm items by fishing as well in this game. Now, Magikarp is about an 80% encounter rate, so I'm really surprised at how fast we got a Wishy-Washy there, but I'm not complaining. I'll use Infestation, because even with the chip damage, that shouldn't be enough to kill it. And that'll be gradually wearing it down while we try and catch it. And we'll use a dive ball. Just like that, we have our Wishy-Washy encounter. Easily one of the most powerful offensive Pokemon we get access to in this run. And you will be Swim Shorts. Let's see your summary. Swim. Plus special attack, minus special defense. Definitely not the worst it could have been. I would have probably preferred an attack boosting nature, but I think it's a little bit easier to come across the special attack boosting, or the special moves for Wishy-Washy, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and add Swim to the party. And immediately level... Is Swim male or female? Female. We'll immediately level her up to level 20 so that she can take advantage of her schooling ability. Yep. Go for that. 18, 19, and 20. And we'll also use a potion. And I'll have to double check which berry of the pinch berries Swim prefers. In the meantime, Swim can just take a citrus berry. Oh. I forgot just how many random trainers there were on the water over here. Okay, this guy isn't a trainer. See, now, if we hadn't repelled, there would have been a chance that we just randomly ran into a Finneon. You know what? I just don't feel like dealing with random Pokemon right now. Yeah, there would have been a chance to run into a wild Finneon, first of all. Oh. that was unexpected, to say the least. I didn't think we were going to get hit with a magnitude 10 from a random wild Diglett. But yeah, if we hadn't used repels, we would have had a chance to get a Finneon or a Mewtwo, but since we can guarantee Mewtwo on a later route, there was really no point in not doing it, especially since Wishy-Washy is going to be more helpful for our immediate needs in the Fire-type trial. I bought like 30 repels a little while back, so I'm not super worried about running out. I won't bother with a repel the last time around. All we were doing that wandering for was to pick up this Thunder Wave TM anyway. Oh, and let's go ahead and fiddle with Wishy-Washy's moveset. So, we have Scald, obviously. Which is just a fantastic water-type move. And let's see what else we can teach it. Go voice, no. We can teach it hidden power, but we don't know what its hidden power type is, so yeah. And teach it protect, which is never a bad thing in this game, but we don't need it right now. For the moment, I'll go ahead and teach it Rain Dance in place of Growl, because Rain Dance is just a better option for it to have. Safeguard. No. Yeah, but that's about what we can do at the moment. We'll check and see what its hidden power type is. It might be useful. Oh, and as it turns out, I learned this completely by accident while researching other things for the run. But being on a ride Pokemon apparently cuts down on encounter chances. Which is pretty funny when you consider that there are some encounters that you can only get while on a ride Pokemon. I'm just doing the loop around there to see if we can start collecting some yellow nectar. Honestly, I'll probably just add some into the inventory, or some pink nectar. Probably add pink and yellow nectar into the inventory just to have those options for Oricorio being, for Plaid being whatever I prefer at a given time. But let's take a look ahead on Route 7 and see. Okay, so there are no more matchups on Route 7. But Whale Volcano Park, where the trial is, we can whoa. we can grab an encounter for one thing. Not that any of the encounters are really much good. But, like, we could technically get Salandit. That's about it. That's about the extent of our options. You know, Salandit and Cubone are the best options there. I think Magby is actually too tall. Yeah, Magby is too tall. Oh, and Fletchling is there. So Fletchling is a legal encounter, but we can't even evolve it once because Fletchinder is 2'4". Looks like there are a couple of useful items. We got the Rock Tomb TM and the Charcoal. That's about it. This girl has a Rattata, or Meowth. Cantonian Meowth. So rather than worrying about her spinning, we'll just send out Cutoff and break it to death. Do have to take that Technician boosted fake out. Oh, and it's faster than us. That could have gone really badly, actually. I didn't think that one through. Because if that turned into several hits of Fury Swipes, we could have very easily lost Cutoff there. Okay, that was frightening. I'm just going to go ahead and get the encounter here while we're present. Okay, looks like we're getting a Salazzle. Or a Salandit. Not Salazzle. And it's male, so we won't ever have to worry about canceling its evolution. Oh, that's pretty scary, actually. It has the move Dragon Rage at this level. So we're gonna take a moment and switch in a Pokemon that is immune to its most threatening move. Might get poisoned. We may even wind up running from this battle. That's honestly not that big of an issue if we do. Because again, this isn't a hugely important encounter, but I will chuck another Great Ball. We can run through a few tries with this thing. Okay. We got a Salandit. Now, what type of shorts are you? Slip shorts. Send to a box. And now we'll just back up real quick. Go get our team healed. Dragon Rage could wind up being somewhat useful. Who knows? We're just gonna clear our way back up to the top of the mountain first. Oh, she heals us, doesn't she? No. Okay, so we have an easy path up to the top of the mountain, but then if we want to get all of the items on the mountain, we have to wind our way back down around it. So we got charcoal. We'll keep going to get back to the Rock Tomb TM. Oh, no. Okay, well... that was pretty scary, actually. The fact that we couldn't run away because our speed is kind of crap on that guy meant that we almost lost cutoff to a random wild Magby. Can avoid the Ace Trainer because I just really don't want to have to deal with his Kadabra, especially since we don't have a Dark type anymore. And we can avoid the Hiker, even though his team is much easier to deal with. We don't have the right Pokemon for it right now, and there's really no reason for us to fight him. Oh, we got a burn heal. Yay. Okay, so now we have to prep for Kiawe's trial because we can get there pretty easily and there's nowhere else to check for encounters or items or anything. So we're gonna do a few things. Probably the first that I'm going to do... well, we're going to back up, do some healing real quick. And then we might just take a moment, save, and open up the file on PK Hex. In order to update some stuff. Because among other things, now that we know how easy it is to get levels from wild Pokemon back on Route 1, and now that we know that we can safely grind for specific stats, at least with our physical attackers, I'm going to crank up their I'm going to crank up their EVs based on that, so for example, with Charge-a-Bug, we're going to crank up HP to 252 EVs. And how many does that leave us? So it's 510 max, minus 252, minus the 61 for attack, the 1 for special attack, the 2 for special defense, and the 57 for speed. That leaves another 137. we'll probably go ahead and dump those into attack because it doesn't really have another important stat. Like, that's about it. Maximizing its HP and attack are probably our best options. So, 61 plus 137. We'll be able to get 198 into it for now. And those, again, fairly straightforward just by fighting Caterpie back on Route 1, Caterpie and Pick-a-Peck and Spinnerack. So we'll go ahead and set that. And similarly with Carbink, we are going to go ahead and crank up HP to its max. Especially with Carbink, really, because honestly, I want as much HP on that boy as I can get. Let's see now. Drifloon will also want to max out HP. And then I think we'll put whatever's left into speed. Because Drifloon's niche is a bit of a faster, bulky Pokemon. Like, it can use offensive options, but in the grand scheme of things, its best traits are defensive. And there's an argument to be made for investing in defense or special defense instead, or even instead of HP. But I'm not too worried about that right now, so let's see how many we can spare to put into speed. Okay, at the moment, the remaining EVs can bring it to 235. And since Drifloon is a little bit more special defensive, I'm going to put the rest of Carbink's EVs into physical defense. Which isn't ideal given his minus physical defense nature, but again, you can't necessarily let an unideal nature throw you off in a situation like this. Yeah, we've got a spare 204, so paired with the 44 that are already there, we have 248. Now, let's take a look at this Wishy-Washy. It has no EVs yet. The plus special attack nature. So first of all, Wishy-Washy gets a pretty substantial hike in stats as soon as it switches into schooling form. Its defense and special defense take a leap from 20 and 25 up to 130 and 135. So there's not much reason to invest in those. But HP is its weakness, so by investing the max into that, we can improve its overall bulk pretty significantly. Well, apparently its random characteristic is hates to lose. I appreciate that, little dude. Yeah, so as far as IVs, HP, attack, and defense are all pretty bad. That's 1, 7, and 1. Special attack, special defense, and speed are all okay to good. 22, 28, and 20. I'm a little bit tempted to dump the rest into speed, but at the same time, I don't really know that it's worth it. For the next major fight that we have to deal with, we will have... we'll have no chance of outspeeding the Totem Salazzle. That's just not going to happen. So there's no point there. Honestly... You know what? We'll dump 200 into special attack, and we'll drop the remaining 58 into speed. Which won't do much, but... Oh yeah, it actually gets slower when it goes into schooling form. Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, that should be good enough. Oh, and it gets hidden power flying. That's pretty decent. We'll probably go ahead and replace feint attack with that, since it has better special options. Or since it has better special attack, I should say. The downside is that a lot of its best coverage is physical. But we can reshuffle this as we need to later on. In fact, you know what? To heck with it. Oh. Oh wait, I meant to do that in attack. I almost hit the button to randomize IVs, which would have been really dumb of me. Nah, we'll put him into speed. We'll put the 58 into speed like I was talking about before. Because for the moment, I think it's just going to have a mainly special move pool. And again, we could have hypothetically done all that training in the the levels that we took care of with rare candies. And as for the other guys, we could do all of the training that we're doing through this right now during the couple of levels that we've got before Kiawe's trial. So I'm going to max out speed on cutoff. And then let's see how much I can afford to put into attack. Plus the 89 currently there. Bring it up to 207 for the moment. And in a lot of these cases, leaving these at uneven values is less than the best option, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter. I'm only going to bother fiddling with the stats on the Pokemon that are still kind of keeping up. For example, Crabrawler can afford to have his attack and speed maxed out, and even has 4 left over to drop into HP for no reason. As for you, Capri... Yeah, so first off, max out speed, so that is by far your best attribute. Then how many can we afford to put into special attack? $160 more? Yeah, why not? That'll bring it up to 224 in special attack. And I forgot to set on Crabrawler. For the others, I might occasionally do something like with Salandit. I'm just going to go ahead and drop 252 into speed. Just because I think the only reason that we'll ever use Salandit offensively is for fast Dragon Rage. And for Dupiter, I'll go ahead and max out HP. And then put the rest into special attack. Very few of the others are likely to see much use. Oh, hang on. Diglett. Gonna go ahead and max out that speed and put the rest. I would put it into HP to try and do some mitigation, but honestly there's no point. So put the remaining 95 into attack. I think that's about it for the moment. We might fiddle with these a little bit more, but now I'm going to check what items we'll want to add. So, from here in Royal Avenue, we can go ahead and add some new berries because we didn't have tomato, Bluck, or Pineapple. And I don't think any of those are useful in this, but no reason not to add them. We'll crank up our yellow nectar account. Our yellow nectar count, I should say, not account. And we'll add in pink nectar. And I think that's about it. and now we'll go ahead and restart the game. Okay. I realized that was a bit slow and boring, but it was probably less slow and boring than watching endless grinding. I'm trying to get past you and talk to this guy. Okay, here we go. Oh, and I gotta go ahead and throw... I guess I gotta throw together my team now for the Kiawe fight. And for the couple of fights leading up to it. Come to think of it, I probably should have... Dang it, why do I do this? Okay, hold up. We're also going to edit Wingull real quick. Max out speed. And then as many as we can afford into special attack. Because honestly, our defenses are just never going to hold up. So it doesn't really matter what we have in them. One more restart. Now let's take a look at what team we're going to throw together for Kiawe. So, stating the obvious, but it's probably best to have all of our water types on board. It's probably not best to have our bug type on board. I know, I'm wowing y'all with the intricate strategy involved here. And rather than risk our relatively frail flying type, we'll go ahead and bring something that can at least maybe occasionally switch into a fire type move or a poison type move, and at best could fire off an dragon rage for a set amount of damage. That's about it. That is my expectation for these Pokemon. And let's break out the rare candy. Tearful Look cuts special defense. Oh, no, it cuts attack and special attack. No, not on a predominantly offensive Pokemon. Stealth Rock could be useful, especially since we don't get access to the move reminder for a long time here. So, yeah, at the moment we'll just drop Confide for it. Yeah, I guess we'll drop Wing Attack for Air Cutter. We'll probably never use it anyway. Bite. At the moment, I'll replace Confide with Bite, but I'll probably be deleting that in a moment. No, Boy is not evolving. Boy will never evolve because then Boy would be way too tall. That would just get awkward. So yeah, Totem Salazzle is definitely level 22. And we are going to have to beat a bit of a marathon of battles. And I am going to go ahead and level up our other Pokemon real quick. Boxer, one thing that I should mention, part of the reason that I didn't have Boxer take part in the Battle Royale, even though it might have been able to take down Type Null, is that if it didn't, we could potentially lose Boxer, and Boxer is really important for... Ooh, we're learning Roost, nice. Yeah, go ahead and drop Growl for that. Boxer is really important for my current plans for Olivia. And that'll probably basically be Boxer's swan song, because I expect we'll be retiring her after that. Somehow I've only managed to switch out 5 of the party members. Anyway... Cotton is going to try and evolve. No, you won't learn Magical Leaf. No, you won't evolve. Probably shouldn't have kept it in speed up mode for that. Ooh, Sucker Punch, yes. Nope, Jim, if you evolved, you would get way too tall. We'd have to ship you off to a basketball team or something. As annoying as it is, we really just don't have the bulk on this thing to fish for paralysis with Lick. Once again, no, you are not evolving. One advantage, actually, in Scarlet and Violet to how they handle XP is that if you level by auto-battling, you can actually avoid them even trying to evolve. which is really helpful in a lot of ways. Okay. So we've got a team. Hey, welcome to the stream, Be Marching. We are working on putting together our team for the fire totem fight and the fights right before it. So, let's take a look at each Pokemon individually. Now, first off, Boy. I am probably going to go ahead. Now, I want to double check what fights are leading up to the totem fight here in Whale of Volcano Park. So, in the trial, we have... Hold up. We have to take on a Marowak, and so a wild Marowak, and a hiker with a Magmar. And honestly, I think that Boy Shorts here is up to the challenge, especially if we go ahead and give him Waturian Z. And then we can also prep him with Rain Dance. Yeah, we can also prep him with Rain Dance to make him able to set up turn 1 of the totem fight. So the interesting thing about this totem is that it can... Totem Salazzle can call unlimited Salandit. There is literally no end to them, so there's no point whatsoever in taking on the Salandits until the Salazzle is dealt with. So, I think that's going to be the plan there. Because Boy's Water Bubble ability not only boosts his Water-type moves to truly obscene levels, even for a unevolved Pokemon, but it also gives access, it also cuts down the damage that it takes from fire-type moves significantly. Now, as far as Wishy-Washy, last time I felt a bit iffy on how much damage we were taking when we switched in, so this time around, I'm not going to give Wishy-Washy the Waturian Z. I'm going to rely on its raw stats that we've gone ahead and maxed out through EV training. And a rain boost from, well, Rain Dance, which we're going to teach Boy instead of Infestation. Funnily enough, Boy could even go ahead and steal the Totem Salazzle's Pitaya Berry, if I feel like it's safe to do so. And there is a non-zero chance that we let Boy go down in order to make this all work out. which is a bit of a raw deal when you consider how much Boy has contributed through soloing the water totem fight, but look, I gotta make the calls here, and some of this run is going to be making the hard decisions to let Pokemon go down when they need to. Slip, you can have a citrus berry. We'll go ahead and put Rain Dance on a couple other Pokemon that are prepared to have it on their movesets. Yeah, no point in keeping Hidden Power Grass on Wingull for this fight. Rain Dance will be more useful, and I'm pretty sure we have room for it on Drawstring too. So yeah, we won't be going for Charge Beam at all here. We have Thunder Wave, which is probably the most likely thing for Drawstring to do if we bring it in. It's paralyze the Totem Salazzle to help things get set up. Unfortunately, no one else on the team can learn it. We have Safeguard, which we can teach to Hiking. Go ahead and drop Reflect. Speaking of stuff that we can teach to Hiking, we will be teaching it Rock Tomb because Cutting Speed will be a pretty useful option for it. Now this is a little bit risky still because the ally Salandit carries Taunt, which makes setup strategies difficult and a bit unreliable. But I think this is still our best bet. And we will finally go ahead and drop Sharpen on Hiking because it's more reliable to carry support moves now that we have a couple of other decent Pokemon. We should be able to plan around the need. We should be able to plan other ways of getting set up, other than just depending heavily on Hiking's ungodly defenses. I think we've spread around the best moves. Let's make sure that we've got all of the best items. You know what? Give you a Pecha Berry instead of a Citrus Berry. I think we'll rely on Pecha Berries for our defensive Pokemon. If we let this battle drag out, we're going to lose. We need to wrap this up pretty quick. But not so quick that we make mistakes. So yeah, if we take a look at our held items now, Water Z, Pecha Berry, Citrus, Citrus, Pecha, Citrus. Our two defensive Pokemon are carrying Pecha Berries. The rest are carrying Citrus Berries to keep them healthy. Boy is carrying Waturium Z for the preliminary fights. I think this should be enough. We will take a moment and repel through this grass as well, just so we don't have to deal with any of the wild Pokemon there. And we'll drop a quick save in case we have the random crash. But I'm really hoping we don't. Yeah, I think we can do this. Hi, Kiawe. Let's go. Middle Marowak. And now we will fire up the Hydro Vortex. See, this thing could only hit us with Flame Wheel and Bone Club offensively, and we effectively resist both of those. We still would have taken a decent chunk of damage, but I don't think we were threatened by death. I don't think we were gonna die from either of those. The Hiker. So is this guy's entire job just to photobomb these dances? Now this thing's most damaging move is Feint Attack, but it could also go for Clear Smog or just waste its turn with Smokescreen. And considering Hydro Vortex bypasses the accuracy check, we should be good here. Okay, so we managed to make it through there without taking any damage. I'm genuinely tempted to try to KO the Salazzle with... Oh, it's the Suspicious Pokemon. I'm a little bit tempted to try and KO the Salazzle with Boy Shorts here. Just because we are fully set up now. No one else is carrying a Z move, so it doesn't hurt to try. Okay, we got hit by Torment. We can deal with that. So we're going to set up Rain Dance, and we're going to Bug Bite. We're going to do both of those ahead of time. We're probably going to get hit by Toxic this next turn. Hopefully they both see that we're not poisoned and they both try to poison us. That would be the best case scenario. So we'll go for Bug Bite on Totem Salazzle. Or they'll just both use meh attacks into us. So we stole its Pataya Berry, which might help us outrun something, for the record. Oh no, it's a special attack boost. I thought it was a speed boost. That's even better. I have a feeling that Hydro Vortex is going to get the KO here. I don't know why they didn't try for... poison, but you know what? Why not? Second totem in a row that we have taken pretty much entirely with this little dude. We are going to have to switch him out, though, because he's not in a good place to try and take on the or the ally Salandit. So he would go down to one more Venoshock. Of course, at this point, I don't even know what their decision-making process is, so it might not even go for Venoshock. It might decide that now is the time to go for Poison Gas. I don't really care. We'll send in Swim for her debut battle. Swim Shorts, you're up. Drown this thing. Oh, and they didn't even manage to hit the Poison Gas. Well, that went well. Yeah, I can't really say anything bad about that. That went about as well as it could have. No, Boy is not evolving. Boy is the perfect height. And if he evolved, he would be too tall. Boy Shorts does not need to evolve. I'm kind of, like, headcanoning that this is the Shorts family. Like, this is Tiny Tim Shorts, and all of his Pokemon bear the last name Shorts as well. He equips Charizard to my Ride Pager. And we are going to switch up the team order now. We'll lead with Board, since Board is pretty quick. And just like that, we have access to Dividing Tunnel and subsequently Route 8, where we can get practically nothing useful. Oh, so much fun. You know, part of the funny thing about the upcoming trial is that it would be completely free if we had Torracat. Like, there would be absolutely nothing to worry about. We would just set up with Flame Charge using the TM that we pick up in the next area, and then we would just crush it with a Fire-type Z move. But, sadly, not an option. We can still take advantage of Litten, but we're going to stick with our Oricorio strategy that, at absolute worst, if there's a crit involved and Cast Form for some reason decides not to go for Sunny Day turn 1, ends with Oricorio taking down the Totem Pokémon and then going down itself. That said, I am astoundingly impressed with Boy Shorts here. This little bug has just soloed 2 Totem Pokémon. In the second fight, it did have to have someone else come in and clean up the ally Pokemon, but like, I got nothing bad to say about this little bug. Now, let's take a look ahead. Yeah, we can't influence the encounter on Route 8. But we do get a TM, a Miracle Seed. We get a couple of TMs and a Miracle Seed. There is an Ace Trainer there who can give us a TM, but we probably won't bother with that battle for the moment. I'd rather just get a few levels on her and come back. Let's see, so if we go for it in the daytime, those are the encounters. If we go for it in the nighttime, those are the encounters. Yeah, I think the only thing we have to decide is whether we want Stuffle or the Wimpod that we have to chase down. Oh, I guess Orphinion, and it looks like Chinchou is available through fishing. So we have some options, I guess. So we can actually pretty much pick our encounter because of the dupes that we currently have. But I probably won't even bother getting an encounter there for now because none of these encounters particularly help us with the next totem, and I don't have specific plans for any of them. So I'm just going to write down that I'm skipping the Route 8 encounter. There we go. That said, do we have any other surprise battles here? Do we have a random HOW battle that I've forgotten? Nope. We're gonna go ahead and avoid Ace Trainer Eileen with her Fearow that frightens pretty much everything on my team except hiking. Look at this powerhouse team, honestly. I'm not even saying that ironically. Like, this is the strongest our team has been by a good margin. Watch as we get out here, and now that we're past Kiawe's trial, now the flowers start spawning the nectar. Okay, no, I don't think I know where to look. Or maybe I'm checking at the wrong time. I'm really not sure. But either way, hypothetically, we can farm them at this point, so... Oh. I don't need to save, I just need to check the team. Oh, and I'm going to fiddle with their held items real quick because, yeah, now I'm going to put the citrus berry back on drawstring. And the leftovers back on hiking. Not going to bother picking that up. So there are bubbling fish, which means that I could try for a Chinchou right there, but I'm not going to bother with that at the moment. And here... So if we catch a Stuffle, we can get money from her. And there is a Slowpoke whose tail was chopped off in order to be cooked and sold. And here's Colrus, who gives us the Flame Charge TM for some reason. Honestly, I don't understand that one. Zip over here. We got Flame Charge. What's the other TM that we can get here? Oh, the other TM is access through Lush Jungle. We have to get into Lush Jungle and then exit it through like a little path in the north. Go ahead and repel. Go ahead and use a repel. And luckily we do have fast travel now, thanks to Charizard Flight. And there's really no reason for me to be picking up these berries, because we already had access to all of them. That, I believe, is probably Trainer Eileen, who we just don't want to deal with. And that scientist might catch us on the way back. Is Scientist Tyrone, he has an Arcan and a Shieldon. Shieldon probably won't be much trouble, but the Arcan could be pretty dangerous. Am I leading right now? Lead swim. Here, behind this guy's trailer, we get a Thunderstone that we're never going to use. We could have a fossil revived here as well for an Arcan of our own, which is just about the best fossil Pokemon available to us, but honestly, I don't know if it's worth the effort. I really don't. Why are you facing a wall? Okay, so Charizard unlocks the Poképelago. That is really good to know, actually. I'm going to add a few Pokeballs because we've been running kind of short, and yeah, you know what? Add a bunch of Dusk Balls. Talk to this guy. Add a bunch of Great Balls. And a bunch of Super Repels. And do we have Pokédolls here? We don't. Were they at the other counter? I didn't pay enough attention. No. I still find that funny that we can just walk into Gladion's motel room because he's honestly among the tragic Pokemon antagonists. I would have to give Gladion a pretty high rank because he does seem to be technically homeless, which is pretty rough for a kid who is probably like 11, maybe 12. Like, it's actually really rough to think about, but I don't know how much there is to say on our end. Or to do. With that said, we now have access to the northern part of Route 5. I am going to double check what is up in the northern part of Route 5, because I can't remember what trainers are there. I know there's the scary one, Alexis, who has a Gumi and a Sylveon. And since we no longer have Sharpen on... yeah, we no longer have Sharpen on our... whatchamacallit. Why can I not remember the name of the Pokemon? Oh. Nope, not walking up to them. Those guys are probably looking for a battle. Oh, Waterstone. We no longer have Sharpen on hiking, that's it. Okay, so it looks like that's the way to catch a Wimpod. You have to circle around to the far side so that you block off its path back to its hole. So if we want a Wimpod, we could get one there. But anyway... okay, so that's the jungle. What other items are up on this end of Route 5 that we haven't gotten yet? So it looks like the TM for Torment. And we haven't gotten the Nature Power TM from the Trial Guide, but other than that, it doesn't look like there's anything worth noting. So I'm just not even going to bother walking off in that direction. I'm not going to bother. Like, I don't think we need the TM for Torment right now. So instead, we will head straight into Lush Jungle for the next trial. Lush Jungle... so we will be attacked by a Parasect. Yeah, none of these... none of these encounters in Lush Jungle leading up to the trial are legal encounter. Well, none of them count as encounters, but also none of them are avoidable. So we're going to go ahead and clear the trial first. And then we will duck out prior to actually fighting Totem Lurantis. So actually there are a couple of Pokemon that we're carrying here that there's really not much reason for us to be bringing along with us, but we'll lead Plaid for the first one, since the first one has... take the tiny mushrooms, but the big mushroom attacked. Plaid has hidden power, which will let it deal with the Paras without touching it, though now that I double check, it looks like it has dry skin as opposed to effect spore, so that wasn't really necessary, but whatever. It wasn't going to be a big deal either way. Funnily enough, in Pokemon Moon, we would have to take on a Totem, or a Shinotic in that area. And that actually would have been a good bit harder. Okay, we'll switch Cutoff up front. So I think we're about to find the Mago Berry tree. And this Formantis can be pretty handily plucked to death. And after we're done with this trial, assuming all goes well, we should be free to head off and try to track down... Okay, we just got access to the TM for Grass Knot. That was one that I had written on my notes. I think that's the only item that I had written on my notes for in Lush Jungle. Yeah. After all this, we'll double check what the best area is to try for Comfey. Pull up a Revival Herb, and we will get attacked once again by a Formantis. I should probably go ahead and switch up the move order so that our stab move is once again at the top. So yeah, apparently there's a path apparently there is... Hold up, I just gotta do some scrolling real quick. Because it's somewhere along here that we get access to a place where we can duck back onto Route 8 for the TM for Energy Ball. I just haven't seen it yet. I feel like it should be somewhere in the northern section, but it doesn't seem to be, so... It's not here. Oh, it must be this. Oh wait, no, this is just the east area. I wonder if Machamp is required. Like, I wonder if you need Machamp to push that rock in order to gain access to the right place. That's probably it. So now, I don't think there's a Pokemon that pops up while we're collecting the Miracle Seed. Hop off of Stoutland, grab this on the way down, and then we will refuse to take part in her trial. Oh my gosh, it tried to force me onto the Poképelago. That would have led to an annoying tutorial section. Okay, well, the Totem Pokemon is up next. So we're going to want to get ready for that, which among other things means hitching a ride on Charizard back to the Pokemon Center so that we can track down our team, so that we can decide on our team. Now, funnily enough, I think the best approach here is going to be picking the team at least partly around the cast form that will be there. So, one thing I want to double check. Okay, Plaid currently does not have an item. We want to make sure it stays that way. That's very important, because that will keep acrobatics at full power. Speaking of acrobatics, I'm going to go ahead and bump acrobatics up to the top. Now, acrobatics does look like it's less powerful, but without a held item, it's double the power, meaning it becomes a 110 base power move, which is significantly more than Hidden Power's 60. Honestly, it would be the best stab on Oricorio, were it not for the fact that Oricorio wants to have a special spread so that it can make use of Revelation Dance. So, that said, let's grab the Pokemon. Let's grab a bunch of Pokemon that have... Sorry, a few Pokemon that have a good matchup into Totem Lurantis. For example, if Lurantis is running low, Cutoff might be able to bring it down if we go ahead and give it a sharp beak. Gym, we will go ahead and give a Fire Z crystal. Yeah. And Drawstring is a bit of a panic button. But if we have to bring it out, then there's a pretty decent chance that it can make use of acrobatics. And actually, with Unburden, it can probably pull off a good bit. We'll want to fix up its moveset, though. Now, on the other hand, Swim, we're actually going to keep around, because Swim matches up really well against Cast Form in the Sun. And we're going to grab Boxer for our team, because Boxer matches up really well against Cast Form out of the Sun. You know what? Going to shake this up. No, I'm not. Among other things, Drawstring is literally the only Pokemon on our team that has even a hope of outspeeding a +2 Lurantis, and that's only because it has the ability Unburden. No one else on the team even comes close. But taking all that into account, I've done the calcs. Plaid should be fine. Plaid should be able to deal with this. So let's break out the rare candies. And I am once again going to not start from the top, because I feel like if I start from the top, I will start button mashing and mess this up. See, this in itself is a scary section, simply because if I button mash too hard, I could lose a Pokemon that I'm relying on for the fight. Like, even there, for some reason, in my idiotic brain, I actually just took my eyes off the monitor where this is happening, and for all I knew, I could be button mashing through over leveling one of the Pokemon. And now Plaid to level 24. Even move it off of that for now. Okay, we'll grab the other Pokemon, bump up their levels as well, because there's really no reason not to. Some idiot outside my apartment is being loud, probably on a motorcycle, because that's what it sounded like. It's just, why? Why would you go out of your way to be noisy and irritating? We've trained this guy as a special attacker, so I am going to go ahead and drop Bite. Not that it really matters, but also Aqua Ring is just probably a bit better on Boy Shorts. Suspender, you can go up a level. I appreciate that Suspender is a stone evolution, meaning he'll never evolve. He'll never try to evolve by level up. And similarly, Slip is a male Salandit, which means he'll never try to evolve into a Salazzle, since only female Salandits evolve. We're so close to being able to evolve Capri as well. Honestly, the fact that we're this close but yet still can't is so frustrating. Funnily enough, Capri might be our best answer into How's Raichu soon enough. Because we should, I think, be able to outspeed as Ribombee, and our Bug-type stab will be doing a lot of damage. Okay, we've leveled up those guys. We'll level up Corduroy. Cotton. And we will stop Cotton from evolving, because he will wind up too tall. She will wind up too tall. Sorry, I can't keep track, guys. Okay, got that bunch. Now to pick moves for them. Make sure that we've got the best options that we can have on there. Real quick, you can actually go ahead and learn Scald, and I think, yeah, you've currently got Bubble Beam, so this is just a straight up improvement. We have Thunder Wave. I don't know how much use it'll be. I should start from the top. Okay, everyone who can have Acrobatics has it. That's a good start. Everyone who can have Brick Break has it. That's a similarly good start. Confide will be just less useful here because the Lurantis is a physical attacker. It might wind up mattering for the cast form, but we'll keep it in our back pocket for now. Fling probably isn't worth it. Hail really isn't worth it. Hidden Power, I want to double check. What was Wishy-Washy's Hidden Power again? Flying. That's not a bad option. If we have to send it in against the Grass Totem and by some miracle it survives a turn, that would be its best move against it. Go ahead and replace Rain Dance, even though Rain Dance would cut the power of Synth. It would make it so Solar Blade takes longer to charge and Synthesis doesn't restore as much HP. But I think it's better on Drawstring. No one in our party can learn Infestation, which is kind of sad, but again, we don't want this to be a drawn-out battle. We really don't. Or Safeguard, Sandstorm, Scald. Why can Oricorio learn Sandstorm? It makes no sense. Sunny Day, we definitely don't want to be using that during this fight. Thief, just not necessary. Thunderwave, Work Up. Nah, we won't have time for setup. Rock Tomb. I'm a bit tempted, but no. Flame Charge? Hang on. Cutoff can learn Flame Charge? Hold up. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and drop Echoed Voice now, because apparently our flying type can just randomly learn Flame Charge. Why not? And we will drop Work Up, which we won't have time to make use of for Flame Charge on Litten, just because if we get off a Flame Charge, I think Litten has a decent chance to outspeed at that point. Let's see, that's a 50% boost to speed. Our speed is 46, so a 50% boost would get us to 69, which is just faster than Lurantis' speed of 68. Don't ask how I know that it's 68, because y'all know I spent way too long looking at those calculations. We're much, much better prepared for this matchup than we were last time, so I'm not actually that worried. Let's go for it. So we are currently leading Plaid. Jim has Fire MZ, Cutoff has Sharpbeak, Swim has Citrus Berry, Drawstring has Citrus Berry, Boxer has Phytinium Z. Yeah, that should be good. That should be enough to take care of it. Let's go for it. Thank you for the fire emojis, Lastborn. I appreciate it. So now I need to button mash A for about a minute. And for some reason, it just zooms in on her crotch. Like, why? Why couldn't I actually look down and see the food mashing? Why did they not want to animate that? I think that's the real thing to wonder about here. And now, Lurantis, the totem Pokemon of Lush Jungle, has appeared. You killed my last run that made it here. Now you get to perish. You're not even a real mantis. Okay, so first turn we are going to get outsped. If we take a moment and... I'll actually run through the stats real quick. So if we take a look at Plaid's stats, we hit 61 speed, which means the only way we outspeed this Lurantis at +2 is if it has a minus speed nature, or if it has a speed IV of, I think, 18 or less. That really shouldn't matter. So yeah, it outspeeds us, it hits with a Razor Leaf. Really, the only thing that we were worried about there was a potential critical hit from Solar Blade. So now it's probably going to go for Synthesis, but I've statted Plaid so that it should be able to two-shot even with the Synthesis healing. Oh, and I have to make sure to target the correct Pokemon. So it uses Synthesis, it doesn't have the Sun boost up yet, and we will outspeed the cast form. How did it survive there? That shouldn't have been possible. I did all the calcs. Luckily, it's just going to keep spamming Synthesis. Like, I actually don't know how that's possible. It shouldn't be. I did all the calcs. I know for a fact that I had the nature and IVs in correctly, and I did the maximum possible bad outcome. That shouldn't have been possible. So either Smogan's online calculator was figuring something wrong, or something else was up, but we're going to go ahead and switch into Swim, because Swim should be able to take this thing's Weather Ball pretty handily. So now it'll just keep going for Headbutt. It might flinch us once or twice, but we can take a lot of those Headbutts. Well, somehow my calcs were wrong despite the number of times I double-checked them, but... yeah, so apparently they trained the Totem Pokémon despite the Totem Pokémon seemingly being wild. But we get Gracium Z, which I can't remember the name of the move that comes from using Gracium Z. Okay, we get to head off to Olivia's for the Grand Trial. Oh, Smart Strike. That could come in handy if we ever get a Pokemon that can learn it. And now he's going to force us to head over to the Dimensional Research Lab. Okay, I think it's in Hiahia City. We are going to duck back to Route 8 real quick. I'm still really uncertain how my calcs were off, especially because, like, I added a buffer. I took more attack EVs than should have been necessary to guarantee the 2 KO after synthesis with minimum rolls if it had a plus defense nature, which I'm pretty sure it didn't. Because I think its nature is locked in as adamant. Like, there is no scenario where that shouldn't have gotten the KO, so I'm still very confused, but you know what? Moving on, because we got through the fight, and that's really the important thing here. Let's go and put our team back together. So we will retrieve our rock. And we're actually going to shake up which bug we're carrying for the moment, for a very simple reason. If we open up our bag and grab a rare candy, we can finally evolve Capri and make him a much stronger Pokemon. Capri can evolve! And on evolution, he will learn Pollen Puff, which is a pretty strong bug-type stab move that also has some use in double battles because you can sideswipe your teammate for healing. Capri has just become our first fully evolved Pokemon, not including our single-stage Pokemon, which haven't evolved from anything and won't evolve into anything. Alright, and there is Rabombi. Height only 8 inches. Weight 1.1 pounds. The bee-fly Pokemon. And Capri wants to learn Pollen Puff, which he absolutely can. So, if we double check Struggle Bug, it's a bit of a call between Strugglebug and Silverwind, I'm actually going to drop Silverwind because Strugglebug still has some utility. It can lower the opponent's special attack, which could be useful. Whereas Silverwind I was only keeping around because it had higher damage than Strugglebug. But yeah, now, like with that, if we count the single stage Pokemon, we also now have 4 fully evolved Pokemon. Oh, look at that speed stat and that special attack stat. And we now have a 90 base power special bug type move. Oh, this thing just became a powerhouse. It's so good. It's still incredibly frail. I am absolutely terrified for what could happen if this thing ever misses an important attack or doesn't get the one-hit KO, and Capri is still holding an Oranberry. That's how long it's been since I've felt safe using Capri in battle. Look at these guys. Now we have Plaid. I'm gonna go ahead, now that we've finished that match, and give Plaid a Citrus Berry. Because now we can kind of afford to focus on Hidden Power as our primary stab, and then bring in Acrobatics when we need a power boost after we've eaten our berry. And we can take it off if we need to. Hiking still has leftovers. Cut off. The reason I keep giving them berries as opposed to, like, type boosting items is just because I don't want to take any risks that I don't have to, and having berries on them will help make it more certain that they just survive. But look at that team. And we've even got, like, an entire extra Pokemon with semi-decent stats on the bench if we need him. And Boy Shorts has shown himself to be quite resourceful when necessary, and Boxer is going to be important into the fight with Olivia. And Board Shorts is there. I'm sorry, Board Shorts, I have no reason to be mad at you. I went out of my way to get you. You've actually got pretty decent stats. And yeah, like, you have good traits. I should acknowledge that. Slip could potentially come in handy. Jim is still usable. Not the best, definitely falling behind stats-wise, but if we need a Fire-type Pokemon, we have a couple options. How did I not manage to level Cotton or Corduroy up to 24? How did I miss that? Okay, well, we are going to double-check something real quick. So here in Lush Jungle, which area gives us our best chance at encountering Comfey? Because that could be yet another Pokemon with fully evolved stats that we can make use of. So because our only dupe in this area is Cotton, it looks like the west area might be our best bet. Because that's 30% chance for a different legal encounter versus 5% chance for Comfey. Or in the north section, North section is worse. Oh no, that strength thing is to access a cave. Huh. Okay, we'll be giving this another search later on, but it definitely looks like the west section maximizes our chances for Comfey, though those chances are still bad. Because we were not able to lock in a Formantis dupe or a Paris dupe, which means at best it's 6-to-1 odds. But we can roll with it. Tell you what, yeah, we'll even go ahead and put Capri up front to try and game Murphy's Law. And also to throw paralysis on it if we happen to get Comfey. Like, I would really love to catch Comfey. It's one of the main reasons I wanted to do a height lock in Alola. But at the same time, the odds are really bad. And we've had a little bit too much luck in this run, getting early Carbink twice. So I'd say that I'm not going to hold my breath, but I kind of am. I wish someone was here to tell me what it is, but there isn't. Okay, it's just Bound Sweet. We've already got that dupe. Oh. Oh, no, no, no! Why am I so stupid? Honestly, I wouldn't have even minded. I just... So, I walked over there, thinking, oh, I see the tree shaking, but those are just the trial Pokemon that I can't catch. But no, the trial is over, that is now a legal encounter, and it just locked me out of Comfey. Which, like, I mean, I wasn't going to get Comfey either way. It wasn't going to happen. The odds were so ridiculously against it, but, like... Why? Why am I like this? Alright, you get to be Camo Shorts. Yeah, like, there was always a chance that I could get it, but now it doesn't matter. Like, even if I walk back in here, I'm probably just going... See, this is what I missed. This is what I could have had, but I can't now, because that would be illegal. And I'm going to be true to my Nuzlocke rules. It's not like I don't already have two fairy types on my main team. That said, I am going to take a second and see if I can find that path that gives access to... Like, it's right there. It's clearly right there, but I don't know how to get up there. to get access to the Energy Ball TM that's on Route 6. Yeah, I really don't know how I'm supposed to get up there. Maybe Bulbapedia has some insights? I should check. Comfey is such a cool Pokemon, and it actually could have been useful, unlike that Formantis, which is just going to sit in the box forever until I need it to die to give me a safe switch at some point. Okay, Lush Jungle, items, all that, Rasnot TM, hang on. Okay, an isolated area of Route 8 can be accessed from Lush Jungle by using Machamp Shove. So I was right, it is past that rock in the east section. Oh wait, I don't want to close that tab. Oh well. Time to move on. I have a strong, fast, offensive fairy type, and I have a slow defensive fairy type. Comfey would have just been a second strong, fast, offensive fairy type, admittedly with a bit better typing, since Pure Fairy is a bit better than Fairy Bug, but whatever. I can't believe the lack of brain cells that went into that process. Like, somehow, I worked the entire game, planned around setting that up, and I still messed it up. Okay, let's see what's waiting for me back in Hee Hee City. Hee Hee or Hia Hia, I'm still not sure, but back in the city. Doesn't look like there's a How battle coming up. So at least there's that. We'll be passing through... Actually, we might be able to head east at that point to the Hano Grand Resort. Looks like all of the useful items in the Grand Resort are from beating trainers who we still might not have access to now that I look at it. And Hano Beach. Hano Beach we don't want to go and get an encounter on yet because there are two legal encounters, Finneon and Mewtwo. And if we go a little bit farther, there's a route where we can easily get Finneon to guarantee that dupe. And then we'll be able to come back and guarantee Mewtwo, because that's the only place we have left to catch it now. So yeah, we'll probably avoid Hano Beach for the moment, just to make sure I don't do something dumb. Which means we'll be heading straight to Diglett's Tunnel. And I should be clear about something. There was never any... Even when I checked the grass afterwards and I ran into... Even after I checked the grass afterwards and ran into the Comfey, that doesn't mean that I would have gotten a Comfey encounter after... if I had gotten my next encounter in the grass. It's all RNG, and there are too many things to keep track of for me to have any way of messing with RNG. I am going to zip back to Howley real quick because I just realized I never did this. Okay, we got a wide lens. Is this the building? Oh, there's a little flag there that tells me where to go. Yeah, this is the one time that I'm actually using the quest flag because I just can't remember some of these things. Ah, it's this building. Oh, hey, Lily. Gotta let my bad boy persona slip from time to time. That way Lily doesn't just think I'm the cool guy, but she also thinks I'm sensitive. Professor Burnett, I really don't know who you are, but... Okay, so we're dealing with some plot here. We're apparently learning about the Ultra Wormhole, which I think is purely post-game content. Giratina, Bronzong, Palkia. Okay, I think that's it. Like, I think I can leave now. Okay, time to check Diglett's tunnel, make sure I'm not missing anything. And it does look like there's a How fight coming up. Just inside the tunnel. Well, probably past a couple of people, but we're gonna want to get properly prepped for it. Mainly by adding Corduroy to the team. Yeah, so now his Dartrix is carrying Gracium Z, which really shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Swim Shorts doesn't really have a main role to play in this matchup. No, that wasn't what I meant to do. We're going to get Corduroy up to level. And then we should be good to go. Honestly, this is probably the easiest How fight so far, just because our team is very nicely prepped. Yeah, How has a Pikachu, an Eevee, and his Dartrix. We'll give Cutoff... No, we won't give Cutoff Fightium Z. It won't need it for Eevee. And even if we somehow find ourselves needing to do something against Eevee, here's one thing I will do. One specific piece of preparation. By name. Reflect. On hiking. Go ahead and drop... yeah, we'll drop Safeguard. Now we are going to try to be careful here. Among other things, I'm going to go ahead and use Repel. Just so we don't have to deal with wild Pokemon and we can stay focused on the more normal fights. That said, it does look like there are a couple of semi-tricky fights here. I love how she says, first off, that the Diglett here are getting really out of hand. They're out of control. They're basically rioting, whatever exactly it is she says. And then immediately after seeing I have 3 crystals, she's like, oh, and they've calmed down, by the way. Like, come on. Work on the writing, people. I am going to go ahead and switch up the team order. I'm going to put Cutoff up front just because it has a good matchup into the first two trainers that we're likely to encounter here. So that guy is a worker. Okay, so it looks like we can sneak past him. Are there any important items in this cave? No, none whatsoever. So in that case, I'm not really going to do any exploring, so we saw the fighter back there to our... Wait. Okay, apparently it's two workers that we want to slip past. Oh, okay, so that's not the way forward. I guess this guy isn't a trainer. Oh, this guy is Black Belt Greg. And if we beat everyone else in the tunnel, we can take him on with his Hariyama. And if we defeat him, we get a max revive. So yeah, we're never going to battle you, buddy. There's no point. All you have is an item that I can't use. That said, there is the chance to run into a Salandit here in the cave. So I'm going... Well, actually, not to run into. There's a Team Skull Grunt somewhere in here who has a Salandit. Ah, and here is the Team Skull person. Oh, and another one has a Formantis. I didn't see the second one, but... Okay, this guy should be the one with the Salandit. The reason I'm leading with, Oh, wait, it's a double battle. Okay, that's a bit trickier. Luckily, we're bulky enough that the Formantis' Razor Leaf shouldn't be that much of a threat. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Rock Tomb Salandit. So it looks like Hao is on our side, so setting up for a match against him is probably not worth it. Now it's a 2-on-1, so assuming we don't die from this 75% power Razor Leaf from a Formantis, we should be good. Okay, yep, go ahead, switch out, we'll go ahead, we'll bring in Cutoff, and we'll pluck it to death. Max Ether, thank you for actually giving me an item that I can potentially use. We'll take a second. Oh, I think he healed up our team for us. Thank you, Hao. Route 9, police station, don't fight, don't meet anyone's eyes. Apparently we can come back later. Okay. Let's see what we're dealing with here on Route 9. This is totally new territory, and actually I think we're going to call it there for tonight, because I just noticed the time, and it's just about time for me to get headed to the gym. Oh, right. Our encounter here on on Route 9 is going to be fishing. We're going to fish up, presumably a love disc, and that'll help us guarantee Corsola back in Melee Sea. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for tonight. We've made some good progress, despite my throwing away what could have been a really good encounter. We're still at a really good place for this stage of the game. And Comfey wasn't giving us... Comfey was always a stretch. I don't want to exaggerate this. I'm mad at myself for not even giving myself the chance when it was totally a possibility. But it was always a stretch, so... like, there was never anything we could do to guarantee it. And as it stands... right now, we have a pretty good setup. And you know what? We're going to call it a night here in the police station, because that Grand Bull bobblehead is pretty adorable. I gotta be honest there. Yeah, we'll be back this weekend. This attempt is still going strong. I have a bit of a plan for encounters for the next couple of routes. I've got a pretty decent plan in the works for Olivia. So, all things considered, I think we can handle this pretty well. And I'm looking forward to the next little bit when we'll get access to a few more potentially really good encounters, or potentially really heartbreaking misses on encounters that would have been really good. So, you know what? With that said, I appreciate y'all hanging out. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Later, folks.